Hey guys, back here with Tua for another video. My name is Sean and this channel is Bullmastiff ND. How much does a Bullmastiff cost in the first year of ownership? So this video might end up being a little bit on the longer side. We'll see how it pans out. I don't know. Depends how much I ramble here. But I think that this might be one of the most important videos that I've ever made on this channel. Reason being that one of the most important things to consider when getting a Bullmastiff, besides if they're a good fit for you or your family, is the financial responsibilities of owning a Bullmastiff. Are you financially ready to get one and to deal with all the possible issues that they may have, and just the general things that you're going to go through every single day, week, and month, and year? I've been keeping track of every single penny that we've spent on this guy since the first day that we brought him home, and obviously the purchase price as well. And I will go through each individual thing in this video that we have spent money on with him and break it all down so you guys would know what to possibly expect in the first year of ownership if you have a Bullmastiff or if you're interested in getting one. And then obviously you can project these numbers out to the following years. And your amounts could be a little bit different than mine. They could be a little more, a little less, or a lot more, or a lot less, depending on your spending habits versus mine. I would say I'm a little bit on the more conservative side for the most part. So in general, expect possibly a little bit higher numbers in some of these categories, but maybe a little lower in some of the others. I'm going to break these categories down into 6 different areas. Those 6 will be food, vet, pet insurance, treats and toys, necessity items, and supplements. So if you're interested in learning how much it costs to have a Bullmastiff in the first year of ownership, stick around. So the first category that we're going to hit on is food. I feed Tua a mixture of raw food diet and kibble. And throughout the year, I've slowly increased the amount of raw food that I've given him. I just made a video on this as well, the amount of food that a Bullmastiff eats in the first year. If you want to know more about exactly how I feed him, go ahead and look at that, or look at other previous videos that I've made as well. I'm going to go ahead and get right into the numbers here. Raw food, which would consist of raw meat, fruits, and veggies. On the year, we spent $396, and on his kibble, we spent $482.89 for a total that we spent the entire year on his food for $878.89. To break that down further, that would be $73.24 per month, $16.90 per week, or $2.40 per day. Like I said, the way you feed your dog might be a little bit different than mine. You might feed your dog a little bit more, a little bit less, but this is a good baseline to at least start with of possibly what to expect as far as budgeting for food might go. The next category that we'll touch on is vet, expenses of a vet. Some of the things we went through with Tua in the first year in regards to vet was his initial puppy checkup when we brought him home, like the first or second week. His heartworm and flea preventative, those medications. He dealt with a UTI when he was pretty young. I want to say like the first couple of weeks that we had him home, he dealt with a little bit of a UTI infection, so we just got him on an antibiotic. And then the most recent thing would be his bacterial skin infection. I did make a video about this as well, if you're interested in looking at that and what we ended up doing with that, but they prescribed us a shampoo and an antibiotic. So the total that we spent on the first year of ownership of Tua on the vet was $670.64. To break that down further, that'd be $55.86 per month, $12.89 per week, or $1.83 per day. So that'll give you a little bit of an idea on vet. The next category that I'll touch on is the pet insurance, and that's kind of similar to the vet, but I didn't want to group them in the same category because it is a different thing altogether. And we didn't get pet insurance right away. We probably waited for 2 to 3 months after we got Tua, so it's not a full year of premiums. But the pet insurance that we did go with was Trupanion, and we pay about $45.44 per month for a monthly premium. I also did make a video on this if you're interested in learning more about the exact plan that I took out and how much it cost me, deductibles, all kinds of things like that. Go ahead, check that out if you're interested to learn a little bit more about Trupanion and the type of plan that we took out. But so the total that we spent on pet insurance with Trupanion for the first year was $489.40. And to break that down further, once again, that'd be $40.78 per month, $9.41 per week, or $1.34 per day. And like I said, this wasn't an entire full year of the pet insurance because we didn't get it immediately, so those numbers would be just slightly increased, but not by much. Supplements would be the next category, and I just want to start right off by saying that I don't like religiously use the supplements. If we run out or something for a week or two, it's not like food where you have to feed him every single day. I don't treat these supplements like he's gonna die if he doesn't get them for a day or two, or sometimes even a week, or maybe even 2 weeks. I don't know if I've ever gone that long. So this expense could be much higher if you did treat them like that and you wanted to make sure that they got these supplements every single day. But what I use for supplements for Tua are Doggy Dailies. I've talked about these many times in the past, and they're actually recommended to me by one of the viewers. And I also give him a fish oil, and it's just the fish oil that I take. Both these, I have links for them down in the comments and in the description if you guys are interested in giving them to your dog. I made a video on these in the past as well if you're interested in learning more about exactly what and how I feed Tua. But the total of these for the year was $214, and to break that down further, that'd be $17.83 per month, $4.11 per week, or 58 cents per day. But now I will go on to the next thing that we'll touch on, and that would be the treats and toys category. I'm not a big treat guy. I never really have been with any of the dogs that I've had in the past. So we don't spend a whole lot of money on treats. So most of these numbers will be consisting of his toys that we bought him. He loves his chew toys, spends a lot of the day chewing on them. And it's been interesting really trying to narrow down what works best for him as his jaws have completely gotten stronger. It's pretty incredible, guys. But to get back to the numbers here, the total that we spent on treats and toys for the year since we brought Tua home is $399.56. Again, to break that down further, that would be the equivalent of $33.29 per month, $7.68 per week, or $1.09 per day. The next thing that we'll touch on is necessity items. So these I'm just kind of breaking down as items that maybe aren't technically necessity, but they're necessity to me. I get these types of items for almost every dog that I've ever owned throughout my life. And I just feel like these items are a very big help when raising a dog. One of the biggest items cost-wise in this category that I actually did not have to purchase because I already had one from a previous dog was a crate or a kennel. The crates that I like, depending what brand and stuff like that you go with, can get to be pretty expensive. You know, $1 to maybe $2, possibly even like $300. I like the big wire crates, but there's nothing wrong with those ones that are, you know, mostly plastic with the wire door either. I just tend to like these big wire ones. It's just easier for the dog to see his surroundings and for you to see the dog also when he's in the crate. But any crate will pretty much do, as long as the dog has enough space to move around and they aren't, you know, squished in a ball into there. So we didn't have to buy that. So just keep that in mind that, you know, there could be like a $100 to maybe $300 more of expenses that you could add on to this. But some of the things that we did buy that are in the necessity items category are collars, leashes, links for his prong collar that I use, a couple of beds, his elevated dog bowls, a brush, and a container for holding his kibble in. And the total for all of these items came out to $232 over the course of the year. And to break that down further, that would be the equivalent of $19.33 per month, $4.46 per week, or 63 cents per day. So not a whole lot in that category compared to the others. But now to break everything down into the grand totals and the amount overall that we spent on a Bull Mastiff in the first year of ownership. I'm going to list these in largest to smallest, and we'll go ahead and start with food as our biggest expense. $878.89. Number 2 for the biggest expenses was the vet, $670.64. Number 3 would have been pet insurance at $489.40. 4 would be his treats and toys at $399.56. Necessity items, $232, and supplements at $214. So the grand total of all these that we spent on Tua in the first year of ownership over the course of that first year would be $2,884.49. So that's a pretty big number. I'm going to break this down further yet again. That would be the equivalent of $240.37 per month, or $55.47 per week, or $7.90 per day. So the per day isn't so scary, or even maybe the per week or per month for you guys, but it is a big number and it is a big financial responsibility. So you definitely want to make sure you're prepared for this if you are considering a Bull Mastiff. They're definitely not the cheapest dog in the world. Generally, the bigger the dog, the bigger expenses. So it's not something you want to just jump right into without thinking about the financial responsibilities. But now there's probably something that you're asking yourself also. How much did Tua cost? I've never broke this down, and I've never even told anybody in comments or anything because I didn't really think that it was relevant. I've always kind of considered the cost of the dog to be in general up to you, because you can pretty much spend as little or as much as you want when it comes to a purebred dog. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys right now exactly how much we did spend on Tua and where I think that number should be in general if you're going to buy a Bull Mastiff. So Tua cost us $2,500. I think that's right about in line what you're going to want to spend to purchase a purebred Bull Mastiff. I think that the number could be very different for you. Say you were flying your dog to you, then you're going to have more expenses because you have to put that dog on the plane. Or say you're going to be driving across country to get that dog, then you're going to have fuel expenses to go get him. It really depends on where your breeder is located and also how good of a breeder you end up selecting. To me, this number could be anywhere from probably like $1,000, probably no cheaper than that, and then as high as you could possibly be willing to pay, really. I mean, if you want to go get a Bull Mastiff that comes from some sort of champion bloodlines where they've won Westminster or something like that, then I mean the price could be to the moon. It's really as high as you could possibly think. But I would say for a good breeder, you probably aren't going to get one for less than $1,000, and maybe that's even low. I don't know. What have you guys spent on your Bull Mastiffs when you first purchased them? I know there's a lot of experienced Bull Mastiff owners down here in the comments and that follow this channel, so I'd be curious to see. Tua was $2,500. What did you guys spend? But if you wanted to include this purchase price into your yearly totals, then the total for the dog, including the purchase price, would come out to $5,384.49. And then to break that down further, that'd be $448.70 per month, $103.54 per week, or $14.75 per day. But now that I've broke all these numbers down for you guys, go ahead and let me know. Is this more expensive or less expensive than you thought it would be for owning a Bull Mastiff in the first year? Or was it about right on line where you thought it would be? I'd be very curious to know because I know many of you are interested in getting one and don't currently have one. And I've gotten lots of questions about how expensive certain things are. So please let me know down in the comments what you thought about these numbers and how they broke down. Another thing about the comments is I'm definitely starting to notice lots of people interacting with each other, not just myself, asking each other questions that are interested in the breed, and I think that's really, really great. That's a big reason why I made this channel. I want it to be a great source of information for people to talk about Bull Mastiffs, give each other tips, any kind of information that we can share about the breed for people that are interested. But that's all I have for today, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed the video, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Take care.